Hello everyone! Welcome back to Bethel Reorganizing, where I help people organize their homes for free. In today's video, we are helping a sweet young mom organize her small pantry. So let's jump right in and get started. I'm going to start with this top shelf and work our way down to the bottom shelf. If you notice, this top shelf is a little bit harder to reach. I'm having to tippy-toe and kind of reach far back to get the small items back here. So I don't want to put a lot of loose items on this top shelf. I'm going to use some bins and make it easier for her to just pull a whole bin down instead of a bunch of little items. And that way things won't get lost or pushed to the back where she can't reach or see them. Now we're going to start on this second shelf, and this pantry was actually pretty organized. It just needed a little bit of help recategorizing everything and just putting things in their own categories. It was also pretty clean. There was just a few crumbs here and there, and it was clean enough to where I forgot to put gloves on. And most of the time when I do a job, I forget to start with gloves on, and then once I touch something sticky or dirty, I will put the gloves on after. But this time it was so clean that I just forgot to put them on. Maybe I should be wearing gloves no matter what, but organizing is so relaxing to me that it doesn't feel like work, and I just forget to put the gloves on and I'm just going along, and until I touch something dirty, then I don't even remember that I should be wearing gloves. Okay, we are on our last shelf, and as I'm pulling everything out, I'm trying to organize it and categorize it on the counters, and that way it will be a lot easier to put it into the cupboard or the pantry. And as we were doing this, we didn't get rid of hardly anything other than like extra boxes or any little garbage things, but there wasn't hardly anything to get rid of in here. A pantry is an area in your home that is constantly changing, and it takes a lot more effort to keep it organized because there's things coming in all the time and going out, and you're pretty much using your pantry on a daily basis. So working towards it being organized all the time is a lot of work, and if you don't have systems or categories set up, then it's not going to stay organized. You don't need to buy a ton of containers or spend a ton of money. A lot of times the magic is in the system and not the containers. Sometimes the containers do help for like small knickknacks, snack items, but most of the time, if you don't have the money, you can still be organized by just categorizing everything, putting your cans in one area, your sauces, just all of your different things. If you put them together, then you can stay organized without all of the containers. I'm going to start putting everything back in, and this pantry is a very good example of using containers in some areas and not in others, because we don't have an unlimited budget of how much we can spend on containers. So with this container, we are going to use it for her vitamins and the smaller jars, and that's going to help us keep everything categorized for the small things. I feel like bins are really good for smaller items so they don't get lost. And if you're not able to afford these kind of bins, then you can use a small box or something and just put a label on the front. You could also cut like an indent out in the front so you can see what's in there, but you don't have to buy the containers. The containers do help sometimes, but just buying the containers is not going to keep you organized. You have to work at the system and keep working at it to maintain that area, especially if it's a pantry. So with this part, I'm not going to use a bin. We're just going to put all the cans together, and I always like to have the labels facing forward so that you can see exactly what you have. You could also get a Lazy Susan for these kind of sauces, but for now we just put them all in the same area. This pantry was so much fun to do, and working with this mom and her family Every time I work with a mom and her kids are there, then the kids are always so curious and poking their heads in, just wondering what's going on, why are you touching our stuff? And it was just a lot of fun to talk with this mom and get to meet her and her family. And I had a lot of fun doing this job. We are just about done putting everything back on the shelves. And with this top shelf, she wanted to put her oils and everything up here, but we realized they wouldn't fit with the bins side by side. So we had to put the baking dishes behind this vitamin bin. Normally, I don't like to put things in front of each other like this if you can help it, but where we don't have a lot of space, then we kind of need to use every inch of space. This is our final shelf, and this is where we put all the snacks for the kids because it is the bottom shelf and you want the kids to be able to reach them easily. So we put all that on the bottom and we are all done. Thank you so much for watching. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe. I noticed about 90% of people who watched my videos are not subscribed. So if you enjoy these kind of videos and want to see more, then subscribe to my channel. I also wanted to say thank you so much to everyone who is subscribed for all your love and support. You guys are the reason I'm able to help these people, and I just wanted to say thank you so much. I also really enjoy seeing your guys' comments, the regular viewers who comment on every video. Thank you so much for those, and I hope you guys enjoyed this video. And I will see you guys in my next one.